right now. Dignitas taking on Expert, and let's see what these teams think about each other.
I think Team Expert are very smart drafters. They obviously have the mad scientist, ADRD, which has become sort of a meme in this this point, but I do think there's a certain level of truth to it where he does have a very unique and creative style of drafting, and that is definitely the strength of their team.
Yeah, as long as we stay away from getting outplayed by their strong mechanics from Manny and Jay, obviously, and Celia as well, for sure. Then we should be okay against them.
ADRD is the centerpiece of that team. He does all their strategy, he comes up with all their crazy tactics, and that's why people love them so much. I know a lot of people have high expectations. They think they might be able to break into the top 3 this year, but I'm personally a little bit more skeptical.
I think if we manage to beat Dignitas, it would give us a lot of confidence that we can compete on the highest level in Europe and probably even world. So I really look forward to playing them and to see how we will do against them.
Jump into it and get started already, but we have a couple more moments before we begin the draft. I think I'm of the personal opinion that a good team starts when they have a strong warrior lineup. And that's going to be the main thing I'm watching this weekend. Bad Benny as he takes on JPL.
Yep.
Bad Benny has been such a great warrior so far in the HGC, but JPL's been around for a long time.
Yes, he has. Arguably one of the best warriors in Europe right now is JPL, but Bad Benny looking to rival that spot. As you can see, Bad Benny has been very active about being with the team, contributing to those takedowns, and has certainly been crucial in their execution of the past couple 3-0s they've had.
Yeah, he's also really helped out with this team being the most lethal here in HGC.
Yep.
They actually have a kill-death ratio as a team of 2.53. The next one after that, just so you guys are aware, is Fnatic with a 1.73.
Yes.
That's how strong of a team Team Expert is together in securing kills.
I want to set the scene as well, beyond the numbers, beyond everything, because these two teams are rife with history.
Yeah.
Let me take you back to BlizzCon 2015, where ADRD was a member of Team Dignitas, where at BlizzCon at that point in time, there was internal conflict between the team and Team Dignitas. And as such, afterwards, they didn't feel like they'd done what they wanted to do. And they felt like, they didn't quite synergize as well together with ADRD. From that point on, like ADRD kind of went out a little bit, tried teams here and the tried teams there. None of them really worked out as much. But then he settled with this team, Team Expert. And from that point on, it's gone from strength to strength. When they were 2Bs determined, coming through, being picked up by Team Expert, they've got themselves in a really good spot. I dubbed him the Mad Scientist way back, before he was even on Team Dignitas, when he was on G2.
Yeah.
And it shows that his mind is an absolute masterpiece of execution and tactics that could potentially push them forward here against Team Dignitas. So there's rivalry here. There's important moves here to say who is going to get that 3rd place, potentially moving on to Katowice. There is so much on the line in this series.
What a treat that we get to watch these two teams face off against each other. And we're going to find out where they're going for our first battleground of the day here. Team Dignitas and Team Expert facing off. Here are our bands. Tuma Spider Queen and Warhead Junction. Game number 1 for both teams here. First time will be on Braxis Holdout. What an explosive way to start today's matchup. And then you're going to have to look to Team Expert. I've seen Team Expert run a Nova on this battleground and destroy with it. They use Precision Strike to destroy Hydras in the back line. And it was actually insane to watch. And we might get more of that today.
I can't believe I just wrote Brexit. Oh, damn. I legit did. I can't believe.
PTSD kicking in.
I know, that's bad. That's bad. We're going into the draft. It's game number 1 between these two teams. And you're right. I mean, to start out on this map is very, very climactic here from Team Expert.
Totally.
They're going to take Team Dignitas to uncomfortable locations where I feel that's where Team Expert thrives. Throw your opponents off, take them to crazy spots, and get into crazy draft mode.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. This is a battleground that they can definitely set themselves up to start off the momentum well here on Braxis Holdown. Now, something to start considering as we're going to go through our bans here, ETC will be a high priority for both teams. In fact, Dignitas is aware of it, and they ban out ETC.
Surely now, I mean, unless ADRD is going to do some draft wizardry here for Team Expert, surely it has to be a Tassadar. But there are so many other things on Braxis Holdout that really stand out as powerful picks.
Yeah.
So he might go against that curve and just let it through and, you know, prioritize other things. What do you think?
Your Ragnaroses, your Dahaka, even Brightwing to a degree, these heroes that are so solid on 2-lane battlegrounds could be a powerhouse for Team Expert. We've also seen them in the past run a little bit of Rexar. They're going to elect to get rid of the other strong warrior, Murden.
Wait a minute.
Please just lock it in, because I want to see how draft goes from here. You take out arguably the 2 strongest warriors in the entire HGC and say, good luck, start it off, Dignitas.
All right, already the draft's gone weird, guys. We're in for a roller coaster, because that, as you exactly point out, that causes a very weird shift.
Yeah.
Where do the warriors go? We could easily see Rexar come out as something that is a strong solo. We could even see Leoric come out as something that's very strong as well. Tassadar's going to get picked up by Dignitas. Valor gets denied from Tassadar.
Yep.
And Varian already.
That's what I was thinking here. Team Expert has played a number of variants in the past. They just want to grab those engages. It also really seems to fit Bad Benny as a warrior that he could just be so powerful on due to the fact that his ETC and variant style can be similar in terms of engages. Now, Dignitas, the other side.
Dude, I'm already pumped.
It's starting.
It's beginning.
Are you in this moment?
Oh my God. I am so pumped. This is going to be cool because already the draft has taken a turn for the weird. And now Dignitas has to think about what they want. What do they couple with this? They have quite an extensive hero pool.
Yeah.
With the 20 that they've shown so far. They're one of the only teams that's shown as ABA3 in HGC Europe so far. Don't think they would go down this path
not on
with
this
it.
map, but still the point stands.
But that's actually something that later down the line, between these two teams, could become a point of contention or potentially bans, just so you know.
Dignitas has prioritized ETC and Malfurion throughout the entire tournament. There's Malfurion and there's a Dahaka. So now they get their strong top lane presence, they get their global presence, they have a solid foundation for the Tassadar and Malfurion to get some kind of auto attacker. Now this is where on the other side you start thinking about the possibilities for Expert. What is the mix-ups that you could have for Tassadar and how do we control that? Do we get rid of maybe a Tracer? Do we get rid of an Illidan? Do we start getting rid of anyone? Or do we just allow them to keep Tassadar and we just pick up heroes that counter that? So you get hard CC, hard engage for Tracer. Gosh, man, even a Rainer would be actually an outstanding pickup for Expert. I know that's far down in the pool there, but we're in the weird of wacky draft life here.
In theory, yeah, we could see, I mean, Team Expert, 100%, I mean, both of these teams have known that this fixture was coming up for a long time.
Yeah.
They have had to have prepared for it.
I talked to Bakery this morning, and he was like, all right, we're actually very confident against Expert, as long as they don't pull out any cheese. Game number 1.
From Braxis with no Tassadar bans.
Here's some tasty provolone.
Yeah.
Put that on your ham sandwich.
All right, they're looking for a lot of things. Sylvanas is going to be a focus. I was mulling over my mind, do they want to ban another warrior? Because I thought the hacker wouldn't be the only warrior that's going to come along. But of course, they do want some that are available to them in a moment. So Sylvanas, take some of the wind out of the sails of Dignitas early on.
Well, banning out Sylvanas ensures that if you don't do so well in your lane phase, you're still going to be okay. They're banking a little bit more on having a strong bottom lane with that Varian, with that Vala being available.
Now, do they want to take synergy away from Varian? Or do they want to take it away from Valor? Like, there's so many options for this ban. They could either ban out Rhaegar and then stop some healing. They could ban out Zarya and take some synergy away from Valor. Or I wouldn't even mind a Li Ming ban so that Varian doesn't have, like, easy follow-up onto his taunts.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that you probably need a second warrior in the top lane. I feel like I'm going to see a Vala, Varian, Leoric, and then 4th and 5th are the question marks for me for Team Expert. So you need to have a top good laner. You need to have solid engage. There's a Zarya ban. So here we go into the next portion of the draft here. Now here's where it kind of gets shelled away at what we're having.
Does Medivh just get picked up? In theory, I mean, you don't have Tassadar for Valor, you don't have Zarya for Valor. where are your other shields coming from? What do Team Expert do? Normally, they go to Medivh.
Medivh Rhaegar? Could that be their choice here? Or actually, you can hold the Rhaegar to the end because they have Malfurions on the opposing side. I could see Medivh. I could see it. With the portal duration and the long portals, you can actually teleport between the bottom and the top beacon phase and have a full rotation, which we've seen pretty often here.
I'm surprised.
From Expert.
I mean, on this map, something that stands out to me usually for Europe is Gul'dan, because we rarely get to see this map. There's Medivh.
There he is.
And there's Ragnaros. I don't mind their comp right now.
Yeah, and they just lock in Rhaegar at the bottom, and they should be good to go. Well, they could even go Brightwing too. I think I would prefer Rhaegar just because Varian needs tools to stay alive.
Yeah, you know what is weird about this is that actually that's turning out to be a Varian solo warrior, which I was not expecting.
Yeah, normally you run them with 2, but with being a 2-lane map, you just need to dominate your bottom lane. You get your Warbringer, you charge in, you have Vala just going for an engage. You could actually go Hungering Arrow build here and just follow up on the Varian engage, hit Q, and have Medivh poke, and you should be fine. All right, so on the other side here, Dignitas is going to need their damage. Li Ming is scary to pick here because of Rhea Burton.
Yeah.
There's Tyrael. Do we
Tyrael.
get Jaina? Jaina fit here? They need some wave clear.
It's something for Mene. So it's either Li Ming
Kael'thas?
or... Actually, he doesn't play a bad Kael'thas. And he's
an amazing Kael'thas.
Yeah. That's a cool call, because I think that would be our first. But I think Li Ming's probably the better... Oh, okay, Gul'dan, like we were thinking about a few minutes ago.
The wave clear life.
So that's fine. That's really strong.
And then this should be the Rhaegar. Brightwing could work if they're feeling a little bit feisty. But I think I would go for the Rhaegar for the final slot here, because you just need things to keep Varian alive with him being a solo warrior. Unless he goes parry build, but that would just be so out of what we've seen from the pros in the past. A parry build just to stop the Gul'dan poke and move in.
I'd like Rhaegar. Anything else kind of feels a little bit off for Curson here. Because his pool is usually the top 3, which is Malf, Rhaegar, Brightwing.
Yeah.
So Rhaegar would give them some power behind this. Interesting little draft.
Interesting draft indeed. The double warrior ban at the very beginning, cascading into what we now see on our screens. Just taking a quick look already, I think I am leaning a little bit more towards Expert in terms of control. They have their Ragnaros for the top lane, they have their Strength and Medivh, they have their Varian engage. This should be the Rhaegar spick. Here it is. There we go. Cool. So I actually like their draft a lot here. Great response to the ETC ban.
The only thing that stands out to me whilst all these players get their swaps on and will allocate themselves the right heroes is the Varian Solo Warrior.
Yeah.
That's the big thing that stands out to me as something that might not work. I don't know. I honestly don't know how it could play out. If I look at the drafts entirely and I see Dahaka Tyrael versus that Varian and Ragnaros at the front, I normally lean to the Dahaka and Tyrael.
He just has to be careful of the Malfurion roots, and he should be okay on his engages. It's going to be call-outs, which we've seen already.
Yeah.
When Bad Benny makes a call down going for the engage, everyone on the team follows up. The stats provide it. We've seen it in the past. They're 9-0 for a reason. So Varian can work here just because of I feel like I understand how they run their warrior in terms of we want to have the hard engage, and then we get the isolation and we pick it off. And Varian just fits that when there's no ETC available. I can see it working.
I haven't gotten to see Mene's Gul'dan for a while, but he plays it really, really well.
Yeah.
So they are going to have to be very careful about how they're able to deal with Gul'dan here, because he'll position pretty aggressively. I think out of all the Gul'dans I watch, he positions more aggressively than anybody else, but he somehow stays alive because he's Mene and he's a god.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is... I'm very excited, as you can tell.
I will say the one thing that Dignitas has going for them awesomely here is the 1 through 9 is pretty powerful. They have really good clear with Tassadar and Dahaka already, and they add Gul'dan towards the end there. So if they're able to push in their waves and not get picked off, they should have solid beacon control in the early phase, which means if you can get a lot of pressure on those bottom lanes with those Zergs pushing in, Varian's going to have a harder time getting to the engages, as he simply won't be as comfortable with anything to run back to, as he is a solo tank. So if they push Expert to the limits, make sure Medivh stays on the back foot, they can make a lot of room here to have a good mid-game.
Yeah, I mean, I've said that, Varian is kind of the wild card of what's going to happen here, but I think at this point we just can't underestimate ADRD's Medivh at any point.
It's true.
Because he is the best Medivh in Europe, so...
Well, we'll see how ADRD will handle this matchup as we are going into Braxis Hold It Out. Game number 1, Dignitas taking on Team Expert.
All right, Trixler. It is time for the most amazing, or potentially amazing, fixture of the entire Phase 1. Misfits and Fnatic was cool, but this one means a lot. As to the left-hand side, we do have Team Expert. Bad Benny is going to be on Varian, ADRD on Medivh, of course. We will have Blade going to be playing Ragnaros, and Nick going to be on Valor, and of course, Curson will be on Rehgar.
To the far right, Dignitas. Here on the red, Bakery showing off his Malfurion. JPL here. Here is Snitch with the Tassadar pickup. We do have Mane showing off the Gul'dan. We'll watch him as he fell flames his enemies into death. And then Zelia, the last joining member here of Dignitas, has become quite the star as of late.
We are in for a treat, because already you can see Zelia, they're making, oh, this is so good, because they're trying to get on towards him and surprise Expert from the very beginning. They kept Dahaka out of vision to come in there and try and get a pick. Unfortunately, ADRD and the boys a little bit too fast onto that spot, and now Dahaka's gone towards the top. So a nice little try there from Dignitas, but it failed.
Just didn't pay off, and Dahaka will be able to go to the top lane and start grabbing that essence and fighting against Ragnaros. But here is where the power is for Dignitas. You see Mane just constantly popping out these spell flames, clearing the waves, and starting to
damage.
really apply damage to Nick. Sustained damage is the name of the game.
Jeez, he's done
Wargle
3,500 damage already to heroes. Mane, look at him. He's a beast.
He doesn't stop, man. Constant heals, constant intervenes here from Bakery will keep him tapped on mana, as well being able to tap into his own life for extra damage as he continues to clear. And the clear just does not match at all here for Expert. You see Vala working her way of trying to deal with the minions. ADRD will try to work in his Q when he gets a chance, but it's just not enough.
So Dignitas is coming out the gates absolutely swinging. What they want to do is set the pace of this game and this series fast. They know that this is an important series, so putting pressure onto Expert nice and early, knowing that they have Gul'dan as that back pocket towards the very end of the draft is really, really powerful. So this is a great start for Team Dignitas.
Yep, constantly back and forth. Dignitas, you're right, are just keeping up with the pressure, and the health bars are starting to hurt here. Curson did have to tap to get the mana available to even keep his teammates alive. Now, Bad Benny is waiting to get to level 4 so he can get that Warbringer to get that stun to help out isolating a member and maybe going for an engage. At the same time, the top lane has been going relatively well for both our teams as Dignitas is dealing with that Ragnaros pressure just nicely here. A lot of the pressure will be down here on the bottom line that we'll keep our eye on. JPL holding the point. Bad Benny trying to fight back.
Absolutely. Dahaka versus Ragnaros is going to become a staple for a long time here, especially in the European scene. It's a really good matchup. As for now, down towards the bottom, we will have Expert trying to rotate and get on towards this, but Dignitas have done a great job of controlling it. Tyrael doesn't have much mana left, though. That means he's going to have to back off and give this up for now.
I just want to give kudos here to Expert to holding on. That damage from Mane has been so much already, but really Curson is staying in the background, keeping his teammates just tapped up enough here with health has allowed them to stay here. ADRD continuing to work in his damage when he gets a chance on his backline opponents. Bakery is finally running out of mana, though.
But yeah, this is good wrestling away for our Team Expert to actually get on this. Just to give you an indication once again of Gul'dan, he's almost done 10,000 hero damage before the 3-minute mark, which that's pretty ridiculous. He's had a chance to wail away at his, but actually he does have 10,000 hero damage. Oh my god.
Which at the same time is funny because Rehgar has 10,000 healing.
Yes.
So there's this weird sustained trade that's constantly happening between our two teams.
Rehgar's siege damage 96. He's been so busy healing.
He's a Q-bot here. He's basically a Lily, but it's a little bit more better of a heal. JPL, though, starting to get low on mana, and so was Bakery. He's able to get a couple of regen globes and also tap as well. So now back into the flow of keeping his Gul'dan alive. Dignitas continues to wrestle back the beacon on the top here. And it's just so much back and forth. It's a tug of war here in level 1 to 9.
This fight absolutely raging on. And the fact that they have Tyrael and Tassadar on one side and Medivh on the other side means that these prolonged fights can continue as they are doing in such a way.
And the thing is, at level 7, Expert gets a bit of a power spike. You get the Master's Touch from Medivh, and he's hitting Qs like crazy. And then also, Bad Benny at 7 gets a healing talent in some way or some form for Varian.
So they're wanting to seize now control of that lane at the bottom. They've all disappeared. Why have they disappeared? They're going to take this easy camp and allow that to push a little bit. Gul'dan's a good member to actually clean that up. but this might give them a small... They need damage on towers, basically, because on the other side, they've sustained quite a bit.
Yeah, their turrets are taking some shots, and thinking that turret kill, something Dignitas is slightly ahead in experience. It's going to be about inches in this game.
Yeah.
That is for sure. Bad Benny, continuing with the trade-off here, is being pushed to the top right corner, using the parry effectively to help out with the auto attacks coming his way from Tyrael. And Expert continues to hold down this bottom lane here, as Ragnaros is continually having a hard time wrestling against Dahaka in his lane.
His movement up towards the top, I've been watching it on the minimap quite extensively. It's very good because overall he has wrestled that beacon away a few times from his opponent. Dignitas now seizes back a little bit of that momentum. ADRD is going through the portal and has to be careful. Doesn't have 7 yet though, so doesn't have Master's Touch, so he could technically die if he wanted, but it's probably not the best. First Blood will actually matter here, because whoever gets First Blood will be able to seize control of that beacon quite extensively.
I bet he's looking for it. Curson with the bite. Nick in the back left. He gets the last second heal. Can he live? No. Snitch is able to secure it, but with no melee here, there is no major wave clear. Oh no! ADRD is going to be taking victim here to Dignitas as well.
Just that one small misstep. This fight has raged on for 5 minutes. 2-for-1 trade at the moment as Dignitas looks for more on towards Bad Benny. He will be able to get away with his parry ability. And then that being said though, Dignitas, strong start for them on these beacons now.
Yeah, certainly a good trade for them. The 1-for-2. They lost out on their gold dam, but getting 2 pickoffs allowed for them to grab the beacon. And they were behind 48 to 22%, and they have moved up to 80% right now. Ragnaros will be able to hold for now as he grabs the top lane. Team Expert charges in, though, from the top right. Curson trying to bait and engage in JPL.
So the longer this fight goes on, actually...
Oh, my.
Oh, very close to getting out. Oh! Expert has now wrestled back the beacons. The longer this fight goes on, though, the closer Gul'dan, Mene, is getting towards finishing Echo Corruption, which actually benefits Dignitas a lot more when the waves come along, because then he's doing more damage to actually clean up the waves as they hit. So I think that as this goes on, it's popped now. How close is he? He's so close to finishing Echo Corruption. It's a shame if he doesn't get it before the wave.
Yeah, looks like he needs, what, 3 more stacks?
Yeah.
And he's good to go. Gul'dan, I like that point you mentioned, though. Even without the Echo Corruption finish up, he clears up waves easily.
Yeah.
Mene rotates to the top right, and you see him just start applying that Q where he can.
Just what a brilliant start to this game. So close and so back and forth. As Ragnaros and ADRD going to try and help out at the front here. Blade, of course, playing the Ragnaros. And he's done so well up to the top lane against Dahaka, got to admit. So they'll get some damage done. Dead even on experience.
Yeah, Expert, though, realizing that they have pressure on the top with a couple of Guardians, has pushed back the push from Dignitas on the bottom right, and now they're finally getting a few turrets, which could get them close to 10.
Yeah, getting these turrets is really important. That's going to be the difference between the 10 of Dignitas and the 10 of Team Expert. And they're looking for Zalia. Oh, he has popped his essence, and he should be fine, though. Will get away. Lion's Maw has been completed as well. Likewise, so has the level 1 for Ragnaros a little bit ago.
Tense moment here, as Expert now hits 10, but has a slight advantage on Dignitas. Can they find a portal in and go for an engage? JPL playing slightly safe there. There's the engage, though, on Malfurion. There's a taunt. Bakery taking damage. The strafe has been popped, and there is no interrupt. Full damage. Malfurion falls.
Absolutely lovely, and they're going to go for the portal through, but JPL will back away. Absolutely lovely by Team Expert. They had to hit that small window, and oh boy, did Varian hit it.
Yeah, they hit that window, they shattered the glass, and then they killed a Malfurion. Not too bad here for Expert. Now slightly ahead, about to hit level 11. Now the Mercenaries are being grabbed for our teams.
I mean, can you feel the energy?
I can feel it.
In this game already. You see how closely matched these two teams are to then push themselves onto that potential third place position, moving on to Katowice. I mean, yes, there's still 2 weeks or so between that moment when Katowice comes down to it, but experts and ourselves have touted this game as the absolute linchpin to try and get yourself to Katowice.
Yeah, I think anyone watching this game, viewers at home, us here, or even the players themselves, are going to need a massage, because it's way too tense right now between these two teams. And Dignitas will be able to grab some pressure on the bottom, but Expert, realizing that their opponents are on the bottom right because of the Midi Scout, can now apply some pressure to the fort in the top right. They get a couple of tickles on that fort, but every inch does count in this matchup here. It's going down to half health. The Knights could clean this up. JPL goes in for the clear. Are they going to get it? No, they should be able to hold for now, but that is seriously a low health fort.
Yeah, very, very close. ADRD still has Leyline Seal available, so he can kind of slightly dictate the pace of this fight. He uses the reveal, though. Ragnaros is towards the bottom. They don't want to take this fight just yet. A nice potential portal across that force wall. As Bad Benny jumping back and forth through there for the moment. Dahaka's gone bottom, though. Ragnaros needs to get on there. This will be a little few ticks for Dignitas.
But they do find out that there was 2 entry in the bottom. Dahaka does have the ability to rotate into this fight, so you see Expert playing safe here. They have a massive concave, watching out for any drag that could occur. Bad Benny in the front line. JPL diving forward, getting the shields here from Snitch to stay alive. Bad Benny is getting worked down. Mane in trouble in the top right, though.
Nick did a great job of actually putting some damage on towards cooldown there for the moment, but he's very low on mana right now. I think Expert can't stick around here for too long. They're trying to wrestle him off, but Dignitas has done a great job of holding this location.
Yeah, they certainly have. Ragnaros is forced to grab the beacon in the bottom before the full 100% goes over to Dignitas. But they are only 12% away. Expert, if they want to grab the beacons here and grab some kind of Zerg Swarm, they need to make a play soon. ADRD scouts out all 4 in the top right. Can they get the engage they want? It's so hard to break a Tassadar and a Malfurion and a Gul'dan with Horrify.
And Tyrael as well at the front. This is a really good 4-man! Oh, jeez. Snitch has to be very careful about that. Strape's going to come in, and they're trying to pop Snitch, but it's not going to be successful. Because of that move, though, they did wrestle away this beacon, and now they're going to be in an all-right spot. But Tyrael could launch himself forwards. He doesn't have much mana. He has to be careful about doing that.
There's a taunt.
He might have to pop Sanctification here if he's not careful.
Bad Benny holding that front line well. The force wall not connecting. That could have been a dead variant there. ADRD in the top
Going
right.
onto him.
Keep him with the harassment. Huge Q there. Hitting 2 members, Snitch and JPL. Mane trying to slow down all pressure. Dahaka has been trying to wrestle Ragnaros off the beacon, but they do not do it. Dignitas gives up.
How did Nick have mana still to keep going with that is my question. Great wrestling away there by Expert. They knew that they had to hold on to 13 and try and exploit that window, and they might even jump onto this. No, they're not going to go through that portal. As JPL launches himself forward, Sanctification, Bad Benny being locked down, but Leyline Seal comes out at the perfect time to disengage.
And they needed that disengage because there's a wave pushing in the top. While we did have the wind go over to Expert, and they're pushing the bottom right in terms of Zerg Swarm, being able to defend this, what was it, 88% Zerg Swarm, it was monumental. They needed to be here. If Bad Benny had fallen, that would have been no bueno for Team Expert.
Yeah,
Expert
definitely.
now gets pressure in the bottom right, saves their fort as well, and they have taken a lead here in experience and infrastructure.
God, what a series we're in for Trixler, because now this is very, very good stuff coming out for Team Expert here against one of the big favorites, one of the big 3 in Europe. They clean things up, but they've got some work to do. They've lost both of their forts. The structural integrity on the side of Team Expert is good, and as Medivh levels up, he is getting more and more potent with his abilities here. So far, Expert playing it strong.
ADRD scouting out the opposing team. Expert has set up for a bush gank in the top right corner.
It's ambitious.
Snitch does have Oracle, so he can reveal it if he does move over.
But the thing is, though, if it goes wrong, then ADRD can potentially evacuate them out.
True.
This might go wrong, though.
Portal.
Evacuate.
There goes the Force of Will. Blade does escape, but he is low on health. Snitch is trying to block him off. Blade's still in trouble. Severe Smash goes out. Does not connect. There's the Leyline Seal. Blade in the back right is trying to buy time. Force of Will into Ancestral
Oh
healing.
my God.
Expert is going to save the Ragnaros. Bakery in trouble.
No.
Goes up inside. The
Bakery.
boss in the back gets him. At the same time on the right side, Snitch in trouble.
Oh my God, I can't believe the turnaround. How did they keep Blade alive for so long? He was in no man's land, and now they're just going to turn around for boss. I can't believe it. That was perfect here for Team Expert.
One word, ADRD. Just saving that completely. The full faith from Blade.
Shields, ancestral heals, Qs coming out. Let's take a look at that again whilst this boss is about to push, because there was so much going on there. Blade even misses his Sulfura Smash. He's in a very, very scary spot here, but the ancestral heal with the shields coming out as well. And this strafe from Nick gets massive, massive value.
And that was the member Zion off. Mane gets picked off by the taunt there on the right side. The boss grab here for Expert, and they are continuing their pressure. Oh, here on Brax's holdout. Bad Benny flies around the force wall, grabs a taunt on Tyrael. Nothing really opening up, though. You're going to see Team Expert pull back and just try to defend these Knights / potentially take them away.
Yeah, and now 16 is rapidly approaching. There's going to be a portal. ADRD is going to jump through. They're going to give this up. They don't want to take a fight just yet. They know that giving up the hard camp isn't that big a deal as they try and wall him Blade getting on towards him. He doesn't have much mana left. They need to keep him alive somehow, but Ancestral Heal is not up. They're going to drop a Leyline Seal on towards one member. Blade's going to fall. That's a good pickup for Dignitas, but the boss is still pushing at the top lane.
Yeah, great chase there from Dignitas, getting the kill on Blade. Just without the Ancestor healing, unfortunately, he just gave up his life, called out to his teammates, and Expert walks away. There is the Sanctification on the beacon down here on the bottom right. The boss continues to push the top right here. ADRD moves forward, does realize a couple members are running away to defend that boss, and they should be able to grab the beacon.
That's right. So for the next 15 seconds or so, mid is a 4v4, which gives them perfect amount of time here to get Ragnaros back into the action and trying to secure these beacons. Smitty just needs to clean up as much of that as possible, but that boss did a lot of damage.
Yeah, it did. Dignitas in the top right is posturing.
You know what's important?
Invade. What's that?
What's important as well is that Expert has the wave in the top lane, which is the keep that was just weakened. So if Expert gets good focus on these on these beacons, there's the potential they could do crippling damage to Team Dignitas.
Very true. We'll have to keep an eye out for that, as Expert is keeping an eye on this beacon on the bottom right. JPL will be able to slow it down. Does have an Aldrin to walk away. Bad Benny, though, is here on the retreat. Goes in for the engage. There goes the Warbringer. There goes the Fear Smash, and that is a fallen angel, as Tyrael will be taken out of the fight here by Expert. More, though,
looking for more.
As Bakery's in trouble, Warbringer continues to lock down. Dignitas loses 2 members.
And that could be game. That could be game right there, unless Dignitas finds a method by which to just salvage the situation in a crazy, crazy way. Expert is looking for keep. They've killed off the majority of the sustain on the side of Team Dignitas.
Yes.
They'll get keep, they'll back off, they'll get these beacons, and then from that point on, they're going to be keepless.
Yeah. Dignitas was working on getting 16. They put Dahaka on the top. They had their Gul'dan grabbing the Hellbats to get pressure on that top lane. So Expert, realizing they picked 2 members off, just go for a keep. Flawless play from them. And now they can retreat back and grab these beacons with that catapult pushing, as you were mentioning, Kalaris.
Yeah.
Zelia will try to slow down the engage, but Bad Benny will be able to scout it out.
Yeah. Oh, if he'd have... nah, it's risky and ambitious to actually go there too long. They don't want to give up the strong lead that they've set themselves up for, as there is already a camp pushing down towards the bottom lane. So Dignitas, yeah, they have to be mindful of the beacons, but the Sulfura Smash again on towards Tyrael. Oh, it's so low.
The cleanse slightly late there. JPL will use Holy Ground, but he's still at half health. Bakery should be able to top him off, though. Zelia on the front line looking for an engage.
But that's the thing. The Variant Charge and Taunt into Sulfura Smash is a deadly combo. So those cleanses, as you mentioned, have to be absolutely on point. That's a good Holy Ground there from JPL, but oh, that's a lot of damage coming out from Blade.
There's a Sanctification as well. Here goes Dignitas with the Leyline Seal. Stops all 4 of them from getting the engage they want. The Twilight Dream was proc before the Leyline Seal hit, and it finishes afterwards. So Bakery no longer has the Twilight Dream. Blade in the back right. JPL falls. ADR going for a snipe here on the top left with his Medivh Qs, unfortunately not securing it, but they are on the chase.
Yeah, they're looking for more once again, and that more is Bakery once again. He falls down. The 2 weaknesses here from Dignitas have been exploited by Expert. They keep ripping through that Tyrael at the front, and then from that point on, they somehow keep finding Bakery. It's going to be another keep, and the wave is on the way, Trixler.
There it is. The keep is going to be killed out by the Knights. They're looking for more. Cursing gets dragged. There's a takedown. We also have the Dahaka Zelia burrowing away, but should be able to get picked off. No, he does escape here. Snitch aiding in the assist. 5 seconds until Tyrael spawns, but 2 waves will be pushing down here, as we're going to be having the Zerg aiding Team Expert in the push.
The wave is going to come and crush this core Trixler. And what a statement to start off this series here, as Team Expert say, you're the big favorites from the big 3? I don't think so. We're going to put ourselves on the map very quickly here with our map choice and take the victory. Team Expert goes up 1-0.
Expert 10-0 in the HGC right now, and they are just seeming dominant. Their teamwork too powerful for even the likes of Dignitas, one of the best teams here in Europe. That Variant pick worked out so well for them. And
I was a little bit skeptical. I was a little bit apprehensive as if it was going to work or not. That was such cool, strong play to see out of Team Expert, and I've got chills. That was great to watch, and I can't wait for the rest of this series.
We'll let you warm up here as we're getting ready for game number 2. We'll be right back. Dignitas taking on Team Expert.
It's not easy being queen. So many subjects to keep in line. So many scores to settle. I am the swarm. And vengeance has